So, I made a video yesterday and the lighting turned out really bad. This would be the second one that turned out really bad, so I'm going to go ahead and redo this one. And this one is my It Gets Better video. Ever since I was at a young age, I knew I was gay. I was hitting on the kids when I was little in the neighborhood, before I was even in kindergarten. And it's something I've always known. About 12 or so is when I really realized what it was. And I didn't like it. So I chose to stay in the closet. And then eventually I kind of warmed up to it. And I told someone. And then they told someone. And then they proceeded to skip down the halls of my high school and tell everyone. So I never had a choice in coming out of the closet. I was forced. And it made me feel suicidal. It made me harm myself. It made me turn to drugs. One day someone found out I was going to attempt suicide and they got in contact with the counselor at school. So I ended up having to go to therapy and counseling. And during therapy and counseling, something clicked for me. I was sitting in counseling, and the counselor told me I was wrong for standing up for myself. I was a bad individual. They were right. Being gay is wrong. Tuck your tail between your legs and take what they say because it's true. And something clicked. I don't need this in my life. I adopted a fuck you attitude, which is what I've called it since sophomore year. But this was sophomore year of high school. Is when I adopted the fuck you attitude. And it was basically, if you got a problem with who I am, fuck you. I don't got time to listen to what you have to say. Because I know deep down inside you're wrong. Now, that doesn't mean that I exactly got off the drugs. I was still on them until I was maybe 19 or 20. And I've had a few relapse moments since then. But I've tried my best. I ended up getting in some legal trouble. And that helped me get off the drugs. Because they sent me to rehab. And it wasn't until I was in rehab that I finally got sober and realized I actually hated myself the whole time that I was on drugs. So when I was in high school, when I adopted the fuck you attitude, I thought that I actually loved myself, and I've looked back, and that's the reason I continued using, was because I still didn't want to deal with being gay. And today, it is what it is. I'm used to it, and I love myself. There's no point in hating myself over something that I can't change. But throughout high school, I turned to drugs to deal with it, and then oddly enough, I became one of the popular kids. I was open, I was out. I had people come to me that was still in the closet for advice. I was actually a strong figure in the movement for LGBT at my school. But I still didn't love myself. I just didn't want others to have to go through that. And to this day, the only reason I'm sharing my story is I don't want any of you to have to go through something like I've went through. And life does get better. Once you get out of high school, things get 10 times better. I know mine got better when I was in high school. And it only got better on the sense that I didn't have really anyone bullying me. I was friends with everyone, but I still didn't accept myself. But it did start to get better. And then it may have seemed like a dark cloud, but there was a silver lining, and the silver lining of my adulthood was getting sober and accepting myself. And I have a loving family. I have a bunch of loving friends that accept me for who I am. Jared, Brandy, Alexis, Mark, Michael. I feel like I'm forgetting someone. I'm sorry if I forgot someone, but you're the ones that came to mind. But everyone accepts me for who I am. Oh, Lucas. Sorry. I knew I was forgetting someone, but everyone accepts me for who I am, and it's nice. I don't have to worry about being bullied anymore. Yeah, I might get the occasional guy on the street that might yell, "Hey, faggot." Oh well, that doesn't bother me. I still have the fuck you attitude. You don't like me, go screw yourself. I don't have time for you. And I don't know. I think I'm living proof that it actually does get better. Because it has for me. My life may not be perfect right now, but I'm living it one day at a time, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I got some advice from an It Gets Better video in my past. And it was, stop focusing so much on the negative. Focus on the positive. Take and write down 5 things every day that were positive in that day, or that you're thankful for. Even if it's something as small as, I'm thankful that episode of Supernatural or that episode of Gossip Girl aired. Or, I'm thankful that I got to talk to someone today. It doesn't matter how small it seems. But the more you do that, the more you'll start noticing the positive over the negative. And that actually really helped me out. But it really does get better. I just hope none of you follow down the path that I went. Because it's not worth it. As I said, I love my life now, but it still could be better. But it did get better from what it was. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. Because if I changed anything about my life, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I love myself for who I am today. So just remember, it does get better.